Yeah, so my name is Christian Riddick. I'm a garden table educator. My mission is to connect the African Diaspora and beyond back to the land. And I do that by teaching people how to grow their own food and take a natural and holistic approach to health and wellness. I've worked at the Washington Youth Garden, which is located in the National Arboretum, for about coming up on 3 years now. Before then, I've been gardening for well over, I think, total 4 or 5 years. So I have a little bit of experience. I have some bad experiences. I have some good experiences. I've seen a little bit of everything. If you can kill it, I've done it probably. And but today I come to you more seasoned, ready to learn, ready to teach, and so I'm excited today. So today, basically what you can expect is we're going to do a little cooking demo, but this is going to be a very interactive cooking demo. So you guys are actually going to cook with me. I think the best way to understand a recipe or a culture is to really cook together and like get your hands in the kitchen and ready to go. So I will help you out with that. The things we are making today are going to be featuring some of the diaspora crops that we have growing here at Common Good City Farm, and then also some gardens just around DC. So I'm going to highlight about 3 crops today that you can grow at home and give you some tips, and hopefully give you some tips on how to figure out your culinary journey as well. Okay, sound good? All right, so the first diaspora crop I'm going to talk about today and we'll be using to cook our first dish, which is a veggie patty, is the Scotch bonnet pepper. Has anybody ever heard of what I like Scotch bonnet pepper? Raise your hand if you've heard. It has a little bit of a fruitier taste to it compared to just a habanero. To me, habanero is just hot, just to be hot. But what makes, Caribbean dishes so special is this pepper right here, because it adds its own unique flavor to whatever you put in it. So you can put this in patties, you can put this in stews. It's really comes in all different shapes, sizes, and colors. Super red color. There are some habaneros that come in red as well, but you can define it by the taste. To grow these, it's pretty straightforward. It's your typical hot pepper. You can get this going by having well-drained soil. It typically peaks anywhere from like late spring to early fall, kind of like in that range. So right now this is prime season for your Scotch bonnet peppers. Full sun. Today we're going to be doing patties to start off with. That's how we're going to be using our Scotch bonnet peppers, okay? So I'm going to give a little demonstration of how you guys are going to first cut out the shapes to your patties, basically. So we have this nice dough right here. Basically this dough is just a combination of fat, flour, and as you can see, a lot of turmeric and curry powder. So it has some good spices in there as well. So what I like to do is one, it's been sitting in the fridge, so you can kind of press it a little bit and play with it. But then we're going to kind of get it into a dish shape, so it's kind of like even all around here. So sometimes these patties are a little tricky because you want to have that like flakiness when you bite into a patty. You want like little crumbs to kind of like fall off. And I find that the best way to do that is not to over knead it when you're kind of like baking it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to take our rolling pin over here. So we're going to go ahead and use this. I'm so used to having one of those wine bottles that I'm just kind of like rolling. I don't think I've ever owned a rolling pin, so this is the first for me. So to roll it out to like a 1/4 inch thickness, basically. And I can show you little tricks on how to do that. So I'm gonna give you more stability here, so I can go to town. But once you get to this point, you can actually get a shape out of it. You can go ahead and press this down. You want to give it a nice push, and then a little bit of a turn, and then you're going to pull up, and you take the part you just cut out and just kind of break it apart from that, and it's going to probably be about this size. This is about what we're going to do today. Vegetables that we're putting in our recipe is going to be corn and carrots. It's pretty straightforward, just go all around. You can also cut off the ends of your carrots as well. Make sure you get a nice grip. So once you get it to this state, you basically can cut off the ends. And then you're going to basically cut your carrot in half. So it's nice and flat. So a nice flat side. Then you're gonna split your carrot vertically again in half. And then take all 4 pieces, line them up. Go ahead and chop. Nice little dice. And then, boom. I love corn. What would I be? Go ahead and strip the husk. Snap that part. That'll leave you with something that resembles corn you see in the grocery store that's already done. Then you can find either one of the small bowls or other bowls, and I might even cut this a little bit more so it's more flat. And then you just kind of go around each side and let the corn fall. You can go about halfway as far as the bowl will let you, and then go to the other side. Go ahead and cut another onion so we can get that going. So what you guys are gonna do once I get this going is we're gonna start bringing up our ingredients and kind of like cooking our ingredients down to fill our patties with. And then we're gonna quickly get it in the oven. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw the onions nice and soft. You can do it, so it's very important not to burn your spices at the bottom, but also you don't want to, you want that flavor to marinate a little bit. You don't want to, don't rush it. But we gotta hurry up because we don't got so much time. But, you can help out.
You have a hammer, I'm speaking.
No, that's important. You can pour that in there. All right. So that's a lot in there. Want to fold over, not mix too much at first, because you want to, get all the flavors marinated in there, but you also want everything to kind of cook evenly. I mean, look how beautiful that is. That's like so much color. All right. So what I'm gonna do with your callaloo, you're gonna take your leaves. So we got 2 different types in here. The 2 that we harvested, I went ahead and washed them. All you're gonna do, same thing as you would any other leafy greens, you're gonna roll it. Do a little, as the French call it, chippement. See, I know things. I pay attention. YouTube University. And then go ahead and cut that down. So you're gonna get little strips. After you roll them, you'll get little shreds like that. You don't want too big of a bite of this callaloo because it does have a bitterness to it, but it will cook down. Go ahead and chop that. Come around with the pan and we're gonna spoon a little bit into each.
A new spoon, right?
Yeah, new spoon. And like I was saying, this is gonna be our kind of base for, so it's not as dry, the patty, because a lot of time when you're roasting vegetables, it can get kind of hard and dry. So this will give it some moisture when you bite into it. And then also, you can use this for whatever. So if you're doing I don't know, barbecue or some use oxtail, jerk, whatever. We're gonna start with a couple of onions. We're gonna do about 1 inch of grated ginger. Okay. It's already smelling great. We're gonna get our Scotch bonnet here, and then you can just mince it up. Just chop it up. You don't want no big pieces there, so we're gonna chop that up, all right? Garlic cloves, so we got, let's see, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one kind of broke up a little bit. Throw an extra one in there. If I go off script here, it's because the ancestors are telling me to throw a couple of, half a cup of soy sauce. can also use coconut aminos if you're not a fan of the soy sauce. Date sugar I was passing around earlier. Let's get some of that. Always add a little bit of sweetness. So for the date sugar, we're gonna do about 3 tablespoons. Oh, yeah, perfect. That's it right there. Yep, you can put it right there. This is a tomato paste right here. Yep. To me, like cinnamon, nutmeg, and like allspice are like a holy trinity for like Caribbean cooking. I don't know why they just work so well together, but the flavor is just really like marinade. So about not too much cinnamon. Little cinnamon can go a long way. So about a fork of cinnamon, nutmeg, absolute favorite holiday spice. Got that in there. And then lemon juice, and then we can blend this up and we're good to go. And we're gonna put a couple limes in there. Yeah, this is how they used to do it back in the day before all those fancy pressers. No band-aids, like, that's wild. All right, so now we're gonna like blend this up. I think we got everything in there that we need. I think we can. All right, first set are going in.
What did you just put on it, Bonnet?
A little coconut oil, so any kind of fat will work. So you guys learned about 3 different diaspora crops today. We talked about callaloo, we talked about Scotch bonnet, and then we talked a little bit about hibiscus. I'll make sure to send you my notes. There's so many things to talk about each of those, and there's so many other plants to explore. Just be careful. You know, there's a reason it's, you know, it's hot. Can you do it?
Did you try it?
I tried
Like there's like a
style, like nature-based, you know, content as well. So yeah.
Afro Beets, what?
Afro_Beets.
Oh, beets like beets. Okay.
Beets like the vegetable, yeah.
Okay.